Lumos. Hello friends, welcome back to Cottage Radio. I'm your host Ezra, aka Bill, also known as your friendly tech wizard and former captain of the Hufflepuff Quidditch team, the Flannel Wizard, yours truly, me. Please welcome your lovely design witch, the fascination of 4th year, and my wonderful co-host and yours, Lottie, aka Fleur.
Hiya, schön, dass ihr da seid. Willkommen zurück to our little cottage on the outskirts of Tinworth. Come on in. This is the 45th episode of Cottage Radio, in which we will be discussing a possible HBO Harry Potter show.
What?
What is going on? The rumor mill is hot.
It's
right
crazy.
Now.
This is crazy.
Just to make it clear, we don't have anything 100% confirmed yet. So there is articles out there that they're close to
a deal. Yeah.
About a Harry Potter show, very close, and all we want to share here is our initial reaction, our thoughts about it, and what we've heard so far. But again, it's
actually hold on, sorry, time out. We have way more to share than just that.
Okay.
You don't even know this. This is kind of like a Professor Trelawney situation, but like last night in your sleep, you woke up and had a premonition in which you dictated all 7 seasons of the show to me. And you were, I got notes galore. So Lottie like prophesied what is going to happen. I've got a little glowing orb. I'll share it with you guys later. But we do have the inside track on that. Okay, it's called the inner eye, people. All right. No, I mean no one knows. It's crazy. We were listening to a like a YouTuber earlier, and I won't say who, but they're just sort of talking off the cuff about relationship between J.K. Rowling and Warner Brothers and what's going on. It's all really vague. It honestly comes from one article. This is Bloomberg, actually, who reported it first. They came out and said they've leaked kind of ahead of this investors meeting that is happening on April 12th.
Okay.
They've leaked the idea that they're going to announce a Potter series.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, the idea that Warner Brothers and Discovery are merging together, coming together, and they want to share with their shareholders, with their investors, and the general public, the idea that they've got a plan for streaming. You know, they have big IPs that they want to share, that they want to work on, and that they're working with J.K. Rowling to develop that and move forward. That is the gist of what this is hinting at and rumored.
Right.
I always like to say rumored, not confirmed anywhere whatsoever. Maybe on April 12th it will be, which is 4 days from now. So we'll see if that happens. But as far as you and I are concerned, we just want to kind of spitball about it and talk and think about what this would be, because the big rumor is that it would be a reboot of, and I said rumor, I might as well just, I'm just going to put like the rumor 3 times in the title so people know. But rumor is that it's a reboot of the entire series.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That's what I read from like a Collider article. Harry Potter set for a 7-season TV reboot at HBO Max. So again, this is what it looks like. And I want to know how do you feel about it? So fans have been dying to get more Harry Potter, more Wizarding World content.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've got Cursed Child, we got Fantastic Beasts. Unfortunately,
I know. We're
huge
fans of that series.
A little bit of, we suffered a little disappointment with the discontinuation of Fantastic Beasts series. So how do you feel about this possible news?
Well, I mean, we love Harry Potter. We sort of, met through Harry Potter. Harry Potter is our thing. We love it, and it's magical, and it's a great place. It's gotten so many people through so many different hard times. I think it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Yeah. And it's cherished, It really is something that we just love. It's magical. So to re-experience it, I know it seems bizarre to me a little bit, just to think like, man, why wouldn't you just go ahead and do a spin-off series where you bring Neville Longbottom back and he's an adult, and he's a professor at Hogwarts, and do something to continue on. That's sort of what we always thought that they were going to do, or when these rumors were talked about, we thought that's the angle they're going to go with. Yeah. Just
more expand on we kind of have.
Just bring it back more current. Maybe it was the Fantastic Beast bit of it was not landing for people, or they weren't getting it, or it was just too, I'm not really sure what didn't hit with people. I did like it. I actually did enjoy. Well, I mean, I'm also a super fan, so you didn't have to really work that hard to sell me on it. I mean, I'm there. So I think that's what I am just trying to. I'm wrestling with in my head is like, we're gonna go back to the same sets. Are the robes and the costumes going to look exactly the same?
Yeah.
But we're just going to put different kids and actors in them and completely recast everything and then expand it. I do understand that there's this interesting aspect of like, if you're going to reboot it and redo it, maybe this is their new starting point moving forward for everything, and everything that they've done prior to this is just its own like the movie verse, if you will. And this is they're gonna do like a HBO Max verse where it's just the TV shows and then the movies are their own thing. So maybe if they wanted to go back and do movies to be a companion piece to that, they could. I don't know. That would still feel a little weird. And I'm wondering about like the music and stuff. Are they going to keep the same themes? Are they going to keep the Harry Potter music is like what makes,
right.
Hedwig's theme is
huge part of it. Yeah.
We all know it. It was so good. It was so classic. It was so I know that they can. You just kind of wonder, like, are you going to use all of that same, like, how much of the old stuff from the films is going to be transitioned over to the TV aspect of it? And is that going to feel weird to see another Harry Potter? Are they going to do Harry, Ron, and Hermione? Are they going to do the trilogy? Because as you read, like, that Collider article, which, again, they're all referencing back to, like, I've got Variety up here in front of me. They're all referencing back to Bloomberg, who broke this. And broke this rumor, I should say. And it seems like they're not even sure that it's going to center on those three, or if it's just going to be like other plot lines or other story points, or what's it going to do? I'm really trying to figure out what the vision is for. I mean, it's, we're just, again, spitballing, but you asked me though, am I excited? I'm excited. I'm always excited for more Harry Potter, and I would be excited to see what they do. It's just not what I thought they were going to do. And I think when I talk about, Lord of the Rings, I was talking with my buddy Lane about this.
Yeah.
You wanted them to, I would hate to have them go back and do a TV series of like Fellowship of the Ring and say, you know what? I mean, we know that we got all the old actors and all the music and everything there. We're going to redo that Shire theme, and we're going to do a whole new like season where we break down the Shire and we're going to give you more of what was in the books, and we're going to expand it a little bit.
Yeah.
The difference there is we have J.K. Rowling, who is saying that she has answers to questions, and she has, and that's again another rumor, but that she might start to answer some more questions or expand some of the story elements in the books for us and give you extra, almost extended chapters or scenes or whatever. That would be cool if that was actually going to be the case. But again, this is all hypothetical. I'm all just throwing it out here because I'm shocked by this possible rumor. Yeah. So what do you think?
Okay. Like you said, I'm also excited for new content, but I'm also very nervous. And like you said, it was the last thing I would have expected. And part of me is still hoping maybe in 4 days we'll be like, okay, we got to record a whole new episode because it's totally different from what we thought. Maybe they just thought because it's 7 seasons, oh, perfect, that would make exactly 7 books. 1 season per book. And the only thing that I read here on the Collider article is details are slim, they say, but according to Bloomberg, each season of the In the Works series will be based on one of Rowling's 7 Harry Potter books. So that's, I mean, they say in the beginning details are slim. Okay.
Yeah, we cannot stress enough how Lucas Shaw, by the way, from Bloomberg.com. This is where I'm actually now just went ahead and pulled this up, and at 7:13 p.m. for crying out loud. This is the daggone article that we're looking at here that everyone is referencing. Yeah. So I went ahead and pulled it up just so I make sure I'm getting it right from Lucas here, the author. But anyway, so. Carry on here, because I'm interested to hear what you think.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm extremely nervous because I have seen last year what it did, and it wasn't even, like you said, it wasn't even Lord of the Rings, wasn't even the book, the movies reinvented. It went to an entire different part of it.
Yeah, like, you mean with Rings of Power and stuff?
Yes.
Like, went to a different age. It went to a prequel age, if you will. Yeah.
Right. And still, it was highly criticized from different, I mean, again, I was hoping at the time, I hope I can one day feel the same, I have the same love for the Harry Potter fandom that others had for the Lord of the Rings fandom. So now I'm like, I'm extremely nervous. They're gonna, because I know how much it means to me, and I don't want, it's almost like I didn't dislike the movies. So why, again, it was the last thing I thought they would do, because it just feels like it's too soon.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's so much more you can explore. Like people have asked for a Marauder series, different characters. There is a little play called Puffs where it's just, the perspective of the Puffs. And I mean, if they go down that route, cool.
I mean,
an entire different generation later on, maybe a modern generation that lives in Hogwarts, like with phones and everything. That would be kind of cool.
Gosh.
Like we always talk about, what if Harry Potter had a phone? Like his summers would definitely have been better.
Yeah, get the old smartphone out.
Right. I'm really hoping this is a little bit of early news, and maybe it's not going to go down that route, because it's hard for me to imagine this is going to be awesome, because we have been, like we said, disappointed with Fantastic Beasts, and there's huge pressure now that this does not flop.
Yeah. So one of the things, as we compare this, and I'm looking at the Bloomberg article here. So Warner Brothers has a deep library of programs that fit the bill. What they mean by fit the bill is earlier in the article, they talk about their strategy and wanting to have new content, films and TV shows based on stories and characters that viewers already know. So when they're talking about properties like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Batman, Superman, the DC universe, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. So what Lane and I talked about the other day on Up Talking Tolkien, an Unexpected podcast, go check it out, friends. We were talking about the idea that they aren't going to touch the original trilogy, and they're going to expand into TV shows like prequels, a young Aragorn series, maybe bring Gandalf back in, maybe bring some of the legacy characters and actors, have them start and reflect on times long ago, or read from a historical book that takes you back to a story. So you're kind of bridging this gap of like, oh, I know Frodo Baggins and he's telling me about, or Samwise Gamgee and he's telling you about something that happened a long time ago. So,
right.
I was even thinking if they brought in someone like, if they brought in anyone from the main series in Harry Potter, if it's Daniel Radcliffe or whoever, and they just introduced you to a whole other group of characters that then went off on their own adventure, but they're still around and in that world, they're just not really they're going back in time, or it's somehow we're expanding what's already there and not altering it. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. Because that's what they're doing in Lord of the Rings, it feels like. That's the rumor. Yeah. Again, all rumor again. They've got like Peter Jackson working in that, and they're expanding out from his projects that he created. Yeah. Like J.K. Rowling was involved and had a heavy hand in casting and everything with the original movies, which are huge successes. Yeah. Huge success. So it's just shocking to think like that we might, like, what if it's not as good?
Right. Yeah.
What if it's not as good as those, or what if it doesn't expand in the way?
Then it didn't do anything for the fandom, really.
Yeah. Maybe they think because they went to Fantastic Beast and it didn't do. Maybe they're sitting there saying, you know what? Hey, Ezra, Lottie, we've already tried that expansion thing, right? We've already went to the Fantastic Beast, and clearly that wasn't really working. But I think if you listen to Harry Potter fans, a lot of them are sort of like, why didn't you do the Marauders? Why didn't you do something? I'm trying to think. It just there's other things that you could have done. Continuing the series, even moving beyond, telling a new story. Maybe that's a lot of work. That would be.
You can also go to another. You don't have to stay at Hogwarts. Show us Ouagadougou or any other wizarding school in the world. You can go there. You can. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. Like they could bring the argument. Well, we tried that and it flopped.
Yeah, and it flopped. Failed. And so if they're going to do this, I think that you've got to, if this is a new starting point, you're going to move forward and they want to expand the Harry Potter universe with 7 seasons or whatever. That's awesome. But is it just 7 seasons and stop? Or are they going to kind of, like, are people trying to make this like into something with Star Wars? Star Wars has so many movies, so many shows, so much stuff that they can do. Marvel just went to a whole nother level and said, boom, we're going to give you phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We're going to just go crazy with all the movies and TV shows that we can do. Yeah. And it's just tons of, they're just building out this massive universe. Yes. Whereas in like Harry Potter, if you're just going to go back and reboot this for 7 seasons and that's all you can really get out of it, then it doesn't, and then I'm like, all right, well then, okay, then that's rebooted. And then I guess we'll wait another 20 years and reboot it again. Or is there? Can you ever? Go, are we ever afraid to go out and do more? Yeah. That's what I'm worried about. So if they do this, I hope that they do the 7 seasons and they say, you know what, that's our starting point. We're gonna not really reference the old, like the films are the films, but moving forward, we're gonna have TV shows, and we're gonna make the TV shows is our new thing. We're gonna have a TV verse where we're gonna tackle Harry Potter because, for example, in the DC universe, you have with superheroes, you have like the Flash movie, but then you've also got the Flash TV show running at the same time. And some people, I don't know, it gets a little, for me, unless you're doing like multiverse stuff, which is what they do in superhero movies, right, that ends up working out. But for us who we see this Harry Potter and then this Harry Potter and then another Harry Potter, I don't want to see multiple Harry Potters. I just want to, I don't know. It just feels odd to me. So if it's a fresh reboot and they start right here and they say, you know what, we're going to do so much more than just the books. We're going to hit those 7 books and then we're going to go on from there. That gives J.K. Rowling time to write more stories maybe, or pass it off to somebody else. Other creatives come in and they create different things. Maybe we do stuff with the Marauders, Order of the Phoenix, whatever it might be. Maybe they even go back and tackle the Dumbledore stuff and they go back to Fantastic Beasts and they do a series. Awesome. And they do a series on that. If they said, hey, we're just doing a fresh reboot where we're going to be, everything is going to have a lot of continuity and we're going to make it all, although I feel like it does already, when you look at Fantastic Beasts and then you look at the main series and then you go back to that, I feel like the spells are the same. There's it was actually so
lots of potential, and I think you're the perfect person to talk about this because you are a huge Star Wars fan. You have been with the fandom for a long time, and they have done it right. Overall, they have done it right. They have projects that flopped probably too, but they think in a big picture, long term, and they just move on. Okay, this wasn't the best idea, but we just move on, and we we try to make it right. We build more around it, and it's more context. It's okay if one of them is not the best project they've ever made. Okay, there's much more to discover in the universe.
People actually forget. So here's an interesting point with like Star Wars, for example, when Order 66. So sorry, I'm going to go on a little tangent here, but like when George Lucas releases Episode 3. There's Order 66, which kills all the Jedi. Yeah. And the air in that, like people were sort of like, wait, how did none of the clones resist that order? They were just told to do it. No one knew they had a microchip in their brain, right? Yeah. So more Star Wars added more context, and then people were like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. But that didn't make sense until years later when they added that in. You're like, all right, now we know. But back when that came out, people were like, dang, they really just followed orders, didn't they? I mean, maybe it was. At the time, people thought maybe Palpatine's voice and his Sith power was like emanating across the galaxy and just turned all of them against the Jedi or something. Like you really didn't know what it was that caused that switch to flip in their mind and take them out. And more Star Wars made it better. Now, there's the argument that too much Star Wars might be bad, etc. But they've just committed to many stories, a big galaxy, a big universe. And when you look at Harry Potter and you look at the wizarding world and whatever world you're building, there are many people, there are many stories, there are many things that happen. The reason we love, when we talk about the little Puffs play that is so cute and wonderful, is because it's a whole story that happens right alongside Harry Potter. Like, actually, we were just reading in Chamber of Secrets when the Hufflepuffs do their thing. They have a whole thing going on where they're down there gossiping about Hermione and Ron and Harry and everyone else. Like, they are doing their own thing, independent of everyone else, and they're having their own reaction to the Chamber of Secrets and their own plan. And maybe they had a plan. Maybe they were mustering a force to go down and rescue Ginny. Right? We don't know. Yeah. We don't know what those things are. So. If they're going to commit to this reboot and go after it and then stick to it and say, no, from here on out, we're going to build this amazing, wonderful world, that's awesome. But they've already got a theme park where they got Hogwarts. We know what Hogwarts looks like. So I'm like, are those kids going to go back to the same Hogwarts that like we saw, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma and Rupert go to? Because then it feels like, okay, they're going to the same place. And then is it good or is it bad to go back to that same castle, knowing that like they're different people going to the same castle in the same robes, or do they need to make changes to make it look distinctly different and then move forward in that direction? That's what I think this struggle is about. I think there might be, but again, like you said, in 4 days we might be going like, wow, we wasted a lot of our breath on that. I mean, because it doesn't really matter. It's just not anything that I thought was going to be dropped or reported. It was the last thing that I thought they were going to do because we'd already been doing Fantastic Beasts. Yes. So.
And there is some people who argue, okay, the whole movie series should have been a TV show all along because there's so many details, so many little things you had to skip. But I think they did overall, they did a good job. I never say they live up to the book. I don't want to go into that comparison because there is, we all know movies work differently than books, and they need to make those cuts.
Absolutely.
For it to work.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I love the movies for what they were. But I want to say, I don't want to move forward. And if they announce in 4 days, this is what they're going to do, I want to keep an open mind and hope they have reasons for doing this. And I hope it's not just, make easy money by just regurgitating the content. We don't have to write anything new, really.
Right.
I really hope they have a big, grand plan with this. And they surprise me in the end with where I want to say in the end, I want to be open to saying, wow, never thought this would work, but it was great.
But it was, exactly. So, I would love to be blown away by it. Yeah. That's the whole point is it's really cool to have other actors, other creatives, other people come into the world and do their thing. What we're really hoping for is like a long-term committed plan to give us, even when you hear 7 seasons, you're like, is that all you can commit to? Like, no, go crazy.
Yeah.
Double down on this. Yeah. Build out your universe, have phase after phase after phase, and I don't mean, and people are like, well, now since you're wanting to milk it or whatever, it's like, no, just expand this universe in this world.
Yeah.
To everything from students to other schools. Yeah. Ilvermorny. I mean, go there.
Yes.
Like you said, Wagadu. Like let's do all those different things. We've got Hogwarts Legacy now showcasing Hogwarts in a different way, some different teachers, ancient magic and powers. So you're like, okay, this is really cool. Like there's a lot you could do. I just hope that they move forward. If they're going to do a reboot, that it needs to be clear as to whether it does tie into the films and if it is still connected, or is it just totally like we're going to restart here and move forward and take the best, because they still, I think, can't take the best from those films and then just move in the direction you want to, and then just keep going and just keep expanding and just go crazy. And we'll always remember the magic that got us there and the original cast and everything. But because I was really hoping to see some of the original cast, pop back in and have independent movies and have their own TV show. And I'm hoping Draco would come back and do something.
Yeah.
So,
and we know the Elder Wand is still there in the book. It's never
exactly.
He never
the Resurrection Stone is
half.
still laying out there.
There's so much stuff you can do.
Yeah, it feels like there's it could be another school where something else is going down. And I don't know. I don't want them to shy away from that just because they did something with Fantastic Beasts and it didn't, because it felt like remember. They were like, we have to go back to Hogwarts because that's what's gonna bring people back, is like taking you back to Hogwarts, and that's what's gonna get people to come to see Secrets of Dumbledore. And it's like, no, I don't know what it was. Actually, with that, I enjoyed it. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not a film critic. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan of the series. I love it. So people didn't like it or it didn't do well. That sucks. I mean, same thing for me in Star Wars when they played this movie came out. It was Solo. It was Solo, a Star Wars story, and it was wonderful. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, and the fans really loved it, and it's like grown in the fandom. But Lucasfilm was like, it didn't make a lot of money, so we're not going to do a sequel. And then it comes down to numbers and money for them. And you're like, I kind of get it. You got to pay your people and stuff, but like, man,
those projects are big. Yeah, but I mean, this weekend we just watched 2 days of Star Wars Celebration, and it's huge, and you can tell everyone who's involved they're all fans of the stories. They're all fans of the original movies, and they all bring their own creative juices they all say it feels like a big family. There's so many people and so many different artists. And what I love about the Star Wars universe is they have so many styles. They have the animated versions, they have some anime, or, they always try different styles of art and film, and they have obviously the live action, they have books, they have comic books, and I think that Harry Potter or the wizarding world has the potential to become something like this. And my heart is bleeding sometimes when you feel like, why can't they just do all this too? Mm-hmm. I guess, there's reasons for that, and that I probably don't understand, but as a fan, I wish they would go for that. But.
Yeah. And again, like we said, it just depends on what we'll see. We'll wait and see, and we'll just kind of react to it. I'm never anybody who comes out and is like, you hear a rumor, and based upon that rumor, you're just like, this is shut her down. Like, no. No. I mean, I want to hear your story. I want to hear your pitch. I want to hear your idea. Clearly, there's people who are interested in it. And if J.K. Rowling was like, this is a good idea, I think we should move in this direction. Okay. That sounds cool. I just want a chance for more creatives, more storytelling, and because storytelling inspires I think kids and a generation to dream and to just get fired up, to get motivated. You know what I mean? So if that does this, then awesome. I mean, for example, Rings of Power. I wasn't a huge fan of the first season of Rings of Power, but I had students who were coming to me like, this is awesome. They were locked in. It was their thing. And I was like, okay, see, there you go. Yeah. Right? They've tapped into something that I'm not tapped into. So if that's inspiring that kid, I'm getting something from that. So it you never know who it's going to connect with. And I feel like I don't want to shut the door, be one of those people who's trying to shut the door, who's yelling for people to shut the door on a project that we have no idea about when, when we were envisioning something different, because, they're not paying me the big bucks to go make a TV series. So wouldn't know where to start. Not yet. Yeah. We'll work on it one day. Maybe we'll pitch our own, but I don't know if you guys got thoughts, send us a message or something. I feel like, just let us know, because maybe we'll come back in 4 days and we'll listen in on that investors call and see what they're going to do. Yes. We might be getting some stuff for Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and maybe even the DC universe. So we can maybe break it all down and kind of go from there. But overall, I do want to say I'm excited. Yes. It is exciting, right? To hear that they're even considering it and working on it when we just thought, oh, it's not going to happen. They've tabled it all, and it took so long to get the Fantastic Beast out, and I was like, oh my gosh, you just get a little discouraged. So it's nice to hear them at least talking about it. That's true. And say, hey, all right, we're moving in this direction and everything. So yeah. All right. Anything else? I think that's it, right? Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to pop on here real quick and give you guys a breakdown on that rumor. Again, rumor. I'll link the article down below so you guys can go check it out and read it for yourself. And then, like I said, we'll come back. I promise you, we'll come back with an update if we get that on the Investors Day call.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, friends. Hey, that is all for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Cottage Radio 94.7 COZY. We hope you'll join us in the future. We thoroughly enjoy meeting new positive Potter people that don't behave like babbling, bumbling bands of baboons. And if you don't want to miss out on the next episode, then be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a comment, and follow on social media at fleurandbill.
If you truly enjoy our content, consider supporting our growing wizarding family on Patreon or Apple Premium. You will find all the links down below. Thank you so much to all our current patrons. We appreciate you to the moon and back. So make sure to tune back in next time, and until then, have a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining us in our shell cottage today. We know it's not much, but it's home.